Tonight, whoever is responsible for a weekend shooting in Lincoln Park remains at large as authorities continue piecing together what happened.
And no special session after being stonewalled. Wisconsin's governor is throwing in the towel on gun control measures for now.
Plus, a threat in International Falls prompts the evacuation of 2 schools.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Duluth police are still looking for a suspect in an overnight shooting in Duluth's Lincoln Park neighborhood.
The shooting happened at the intersection of North 20th Avenue West and West 3rd Street. CBS3's John Cardinelli is joining us live now. And John, you were at the scene last night. What did you see while you were there?
That's right, Kristen. I was at the scene here last night. I arrived around 11:30. When I got here, there was a pretty large police presence. They had the intersection right back there at North 20th Avenue West blocked off, and policemen even had their guns drawn. According to the Duluth Police Department, they responded to a report of shots fired just after 10 last night. Officers found evidence of a recent shooting. A 35-year-old man went to the hospital with non-life-threatening gunshot wound to his arm. The incident is no surprise to one resident of the neighborhood.
Whatever went on, it wasn't an out-of-the-ordinary event for this property. And I'm old enough where I fear for my well-being, trying to, even just keep them out of my yard.
While police are still looking for a suspect, they do not believe there is any danger to the community at this time. Now, police say the investigation is ongoing, and we will continue to keep you updated as we learn more information on the incident.
John, do police think the shooter and the victim know each other?
Now, Kristen, police could not confirm with us whether or not the shooter or the victim knew each other, but as I did mention earlier, they did tell us that at this time they do not feel there is a threat to the public.
All right, John Cardinelli for us tonight. Thanks, John.
Authorities in International Falls are investigating tonight after a bomb threat forced students to evacuate their classrooms. Students left the Falls High School and Falls Elementary building just before 11 o'clock this morning. They were taken to a safe location, and many were picked up by their parents. District officials say they searched both school buildings. However, there's no word if anything was found or if anyone is in custody. For now, the school district has canceled after-school activities. They plan to let families know soon if school will be in session tomorrow.
A former Duluth and Superior mayor is behind bars again tonight. According to the Douglas County Jail roster, Herb Bergson was booked last week for violating his probation. The 62-year-old was sentenced to a year of supervision after crashing his car and leaving the scene in February of 2018. It's unclear how exactly he violated his probation. Bergson was mayor of Duluth from 2004 to 2008 and Superior mayor from 1987 to 1995.
A former cab driver will spend more than a decade behind bars after he was found guilty of sexually assaulting a woman in his cab 7 years ago. Today, 66-year-old Kenneth Clark received a 12-year sentence for the crime, which happened in November of 2012. According to St. Louis County Attorney Mark Rubin, investigators were able to reopen the case thanks to a federal grant. The money allowed the city of Duluth to process a backlog of untested rape kits, one of which led them to Clark. He was found guilty in June.
You might have seen some heavy flames coming from Duluth's Central Hillside neighborhood last night. Fire broke out at a garage on the 300 block of East 2nd Street around 5:30. No one was hurt, and the fire destroyed the garage.
A fire damaged Cook Lodge this morning. The fire broke out around 9:15 at the Elbow Lake Lodge storage building. According to friends of the Northland Firewire, a number of boats and other pieces of equipment were inside. That was all destroyed. No one was injured, and the cause is still under investigation.
Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, some of that rain this weekend, all the snow is gone.
Yeah, in Cotton, where I was as well, chasing the deer through the woods and, as usual, not getting any.
Oh, man.
It was doing that there as well. Well, there's a little more rain coming our way thanks to a pair of lows that are looming just off to our west. Those 2 low-pressure systems you see draping across the Dakotas will be bringing us after midnight tonight a chance for a rain and snow mix that will stick around at least through tomorrow. So tomorrow's day planner says By the time you get up in the morning, you know, it's a 40% chance for this rain-snow mix, and it may dribble on and off as we go through the day. Top temp 36 is a hair warmer than normal. Come Wednesday, well, we might get this mix to change over towards snow. We'll talk about what could try to stick coming up if you'll stick around a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Republican Jason Rarick says he plans to run for a state Senate seat again. Rarick currently serves Minnesota's 11th district. He was elected during a special election earlier this year after Tony Laurie, who previously held the seat, was appointed to lead the Department of Human Services. Former news anchor Michelle Lee also announced last week that she plans on running for the seat as a DFL candidate. The 11th district includes Pine, Kennebec, Carleton, and parts of St. Louis County.
Minnesota's governor is pushing lawmakers to hold public hearings, hoping to break an impasse over insulin affordability legislation. Lawmakers gave themselves 30 days to merge competing House Democratic and Senate Republican plans. Governor Walz says they made some progress, but the clock ran out. He thinks having advocates and experts testify in public hearings will be the push lawmakers need to make a deal, solving what Walz called a crisis of affordability.
There is no reason that this is an issue we cannot solve. There's no reason we can't deal with the emergency side of things for people who are uninsured and need it immediately, and the long-term costs.
Walz is asking lawmakers to hold these hearings immediately. He says the goal is to pass legislation during a special session he hopes to hold before the holidays.
In Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers says he's disappointed by what he calls lack of interest from state Republicans on gun control legislation. Evers called a special session in October. He wanted lawmakers to pass universal background checks and a red flag law, allowing judges to take guns from people deemed a threat. Republicans gavelled in, then gavelled out seconds later without taking any action. Evers says he won't call another session anytime soon, but is keeping his options open.
Certainly, we're disappointed, and I can't even say it was the result of the lack of interest in taking on this issue. So I continue to hold that option open, but I don't have, won't be making a decision today.
According to a 2018 study done by Marquette Law School, more than 80% of Wisconsinites support universal background checks.
Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is divvying up $1.5 million in grants for drug courts. The 2019 through 2021 state budget includes that money for expanding drug courts, which provide alternatives to prosecution and incarceration for offenders who abuse alcohol and other drugs. Kaul announced at a news conference today that the money will go to help Door and Lafayette counties create drug courts, support the Ho-Chunk Nation's drug court, and help Shawano County's newly established drug court. The money will also be used to expand treatment and diversion programs in Adams, Buffalo, Marinette, Monroe, Pepin, Portage, and Polk counties.
A portion of Michigan Street closed today and will stay shut down through the end of the week. Crews are installing a new gas main. The closure is on Michigan Street from 21st Avenue West to 24th Avenue West. A detour route will be posted. That closure lasts through Friday.
Itasca County wants your feedback as they consider plans for a new jail. It all stems from a 2017 letter from the Department of Corrections. It said the current jail doesn't meet state regulations, so they have to move out by September of 2021. A task force considered options for a new jail earlier this year, and now they plan to hold public hearings. The dates, times, and locations have not been set.
A mosquito-borne virus that killed 6 people in Michigan this year has been found in Minnesota. Minnesota wildlife officials say 3 ruffed grouse in Itasca County tested positive for the EEE virus, which is a rare cause of brain infections. Hunters brought the grouse to the DNR after noticing their abnormal behavior. All the birds tested negative for West Nile virus. Now, EEE is typically found in the eastern U.S. and along the Gulf Coast, but has been found in Michigan and Wisconsin. The DNR will continue to monitor Minnesota's grouse population.
Learning out of a book is one thing, but getting a hands-on lesson is a whole other experience.
Students at Two Harbors High School can show you best, and it's all thanks to something very dear to Northlanders' hearts. CBS3's Gaming Hall has the story.
For families across the Northland, it's tradition.
It's like really about spending time with your family. It's great to get kids outside.
The sport of deer hunting currently in the midst of its fall season.
I think it's like really a progression as they get older, something they still come back to. I have a lot of friends from college who still go home every fall to hunt with their
A
families.
process passed down from generation to generation in more ways than one. And that hunting process is making its way to the heart of the classroom here at Two Harbors.
My dad's best friend shot a huge buck, and he got the heart, and then he gave it to me because he knew that we were doing this.
The process ends here.
Like, the whole town kind of knows about it.
In Miss Scherer's science class, where deer hearts are donated.
It's family members that shoot them, teachers bring them in.
For students to dissect and learn.
It's a really good way for the kids to see the flow of the blood through our heart, what the different ventricles and atrium look like.
No, arteries on top and veins on the bottom.
Things that are difficult to depict the right way on a diagram, but when you look at it in real life, is very clear.
Some students take it better than others.
I go hunting, so I'm used to it, but some people are kind of grossed out.
Dude, I can feel it. You just kind of got to go with the madness. So there's method to the madness, but it's chaotic.
But they're always eager for more.
Whatever we don't use this year, we will set aside for next year because they stay really well frozen, so we can keep them for a really long time.
If you'd like to donate to the class, you're asked to contact Miss Scherer directly. You can find her contact information on our website, cbs3duluth.com.
Still to come on live local CBS 3, a timeless tradition returns to downtown Duluth, making the area look much more festive.
After a warmer than normal weekend, we're back to cooler than normal today by about 4 degrees, but we'll go back the other direction tomorrow, which could egg on a rain-snow mix. We'll talk about how long that's going to last coming up after our break.
I love that one.
I love it.
I love it.
It's easy to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love this one, too.
And this month is the perfect time to see why.
Wow.
I love it.
That's my next truck. Find your reason to fall in love with a new Chevy and get a great deal all month long.
I love it.
I'm going to go buy a Chevy.
Get 19% below MSRP on all 2019 Silverado Crew Cab pickups. That's over $9,700 on this Silverado. Or during the Black Friday sales event, get 20% below MSRP on other select 2019 models.
This isn't the kitty on the prowl. The hottest country in the Northland. Cat Country 98.9 KTCO.
I know people love the dish remote. It's great. So why build in the Google Assistant? I mean, who really needs a TV remote that can turn the thermostat up,
change temperature to 72,
the lights down,
dim the lights,
and still access their DVR?
play video?
Actually, some people could absolutely use a remote like that. The new Dish Voice Remote. Dish, tuned in to you.
I'm Dr. Amy Van Straten with St. Luke's Obstetrics and Gynecology Associates. I have 2 daughters. They'll ask me when I get home from work, did I help any babies come out and what are their names? And then they will like to evaluate if that was a good name or not. With robotic technology, it's very rewarding to be able to do difficult surgeries through small incisions and see patients recover so quickly. When a patient comes to St. Luke's, I feel like they really get personalized care, and it's really rewarding to see patients absolutely loving their care.
Stay warm this winter with a remote car starter from Dad's Electronics. Serving the Northland for 40 years, you can trust that your vehicle will be in experienced hands.
A Taco John's Stuffed Grilled Taco makes a great stocking stuffer for stocking stuffers who have stockings that need to be stuffed, and stuffed well. Stuffed with layers on layers of savory stuff, like 100% American beef, nacho and shredded cheeses, and our signature hot sauce. Stuff our Stuffed Grilled Taco Stocking Stuffer hashtag with stuff at hashtag Stuffed Grilled Taco Stocking Stuffer Stuff. Whew, that's a mouthful. And so are Stuffed Grilled Tacos. Only at Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
It's too late for me to find another partner, so I'm gonna have to forfeit.
Well, I could be a partner.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to forfeit the championship game. Fine, practice starts tomorrow.
Time to start warming up the glutes.
Yeah, I'm in the city going cray-cray.
The neighborhood. Then.
You're sweet, and you're a good son. And sometimes you're funny.
Sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. Don't push it.
A new Bob Hart's Abishola, right after A New Neighborhood. Tonight on CBS.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, 3 years ago today, we were pounded by a pretty nasty blizzard, especially from the Iron Ranges up towards International Falls. Or, for example, 24 inches of snow, 17 around the Hibbing area, where our Tony Matt is right there. Yeah, that's Tony wearing the Soviet hat, it looks like, and getting covered with snow. Well, our weather today and for the next couple of days is a lot calmer. No blizzard, but we do have a chance for a rain and snow mix coming our way later tonight through tomorrow, and a chance for a couple of inches of snow that may strike us on Wednesday. Right now, though, we're getting hit by a mostly cloudy sky up aloft and a current temp of 28 degrees. The wind's coming from the south. It's going 6 miles per hour. 85% is the relative humidity, and the air pressure is already on the low side at 29.73, setting us up again for that precip chance in just a couple of hours. Right now, temperature-wise, we're looking at upper 20s to about 30 in the arrowhead of Minnesota. Head of the lakes, low 30s. East central Minnesota, low 30s. Northwestern Wisconsin, low 30s. And well, upper 20s to low 30s for the upper peninsulas. Today, we came up a little bit shy on temperatures by only a couple of degrees. Tomorrow, we should go back to warmer than normal, at least for a couple of days. Well, let's move on right now and take a look at the Doppler satellite map for our region. And we do have a couple of snow flurries trying to already skirt along the international border down into the arrowhead of Minnesota, but they're falling apart as they move on for the time being. I think that'll change, though, because we do have a pair of low-pressure systems to our west, one in North Dakota, one down towards South Dakota, and in between, we're seeing rain right now, which once it gets into our cooler air, should shift over to the mix. 40% chance for that here on our Tuesday, and it'll try to stick. Probably not much will stick, but it'll try. So we're looking at about a trace to maybe an inch around our area here for Wednesday. But then things are going to change. Actually, I meant for Tuesday. For Wednesday, things will change. We'll go from the mix from the 2 weaker lows to a more substantial Colorado low coming our way to bring us a chance of snow. Come Wednesday, I'm thinking maybe 1 to 3 inches before things start to clear up and dry up as early as Thursday, and set us up for a nice Christmas City of the North parade on Friday. Forecast tonight in Minnesota, you're looking for low temps to go upper 20s to the lower 30s with a mostly cloudy sky. Mostly cloudy Wisconsin, Michigan as well, upper 20s to about 30 degrees. And then for tomorrow, of course, we get the 40% mixed chance in Wisconsin and the UP, with high temps going back warmer than normal, running, I think, 36 to 38. The normal's around 34. In Minnesota, we should go from 34 to about 38 degrees with that 40% mixed chance. And then getting into Wednesday, especially Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, that's when we get the 60% chance for that 1 to 3 inches of snow I was thinking about. Then the warmer than normal starts to disappear once again. Thursday transition day, dry but mostly cloudy. Fairly sunny but chilly on Friday, high of only 29. Then for the weekend, a bit warmer but a bit drier, with even a couple of peaks of sun for the Wisconsin deer opener and the last weekend of Minnesota season, and the second week of deer camp for the folks in the UP.
Lots to keep track of.
Yeah.
A lot less snow today than there was 3 years ago. My goodness, I remember standing out in that stuff, just inches upon inches.
Yep.
You were on the morning show, I was doing live shots
Yep.
for us, and we got just blasted with snow.
My drive to the range was a lot easier, or will be a lot easier tonight as well.
I think it will be, but still be cautious again, because as we've been harping about for several days now, huh, Kristen?
Yep.
Just a little bit of snow can slick things up.
Sure can. Thanks, Dave.
The Christmas City of the North Parade takes over downtown Duluth this Friday, and with that, we're looking back at how the weather impacted years past. Over the last 60 years of parade days, we've seen all kinds of weather. You might remember in 2016 when 3.5 inches of snow fell. That's here in Duluth. They got a lot more on the range, but that also forced some floats to drop out. The coldest parade in the last 5 years was 2014, when temperatures hit highs in the 20s, but dropped below zero. The parade will go on no matter the weather, but organizers say it is something that they plan for.
Snow falling on the ground, which could make it slippery for units driving on the route, or years when it's really nice, they tend to walk a lot slower because they're enjoying the being out and seeing all the kids and things like that. So I think the biggest factor that weather can play is just the pace of the parade.
The average temperature for the last 5 years was 33 degrees, and that parade starts at 6:30 on Friday.
An annual tradition got underway today. Businesses in downtown Duluth started their holiday window decorating. Today, the stores hung red curtains to hide the decoration assembly going on inside their windows. 17 businesses in downtown Duluth are taking part in this year's decoration contest. The curtains come down on Friday, and that's when you can start voting on your favorites. It's Fannie Rose Candy Shop's first year taking part, and they say it's a great way to get in the holiday spirit while checking out downtown businesses.
We saw how fun it was last year. You know, everybody just kind of got in the spirit, and it was one of those things that we finally decided that, you know, we should participate in, and we have big, beautiful windows, so we'll decorate them.
You can vote through December 5th, and winners will be announced December 11th.
Kelly's here to talk about sports. You got a lot to catch up on in the football world.
You could call it a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings, they pulled it off yesterday. A recap on what went well and also what went so terribly wrong in the first half.
The 2020 Yamaha XTR editions at RJ Sport and Cycle.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Toyota. Presidential Award-winning service. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler. KohlerToyota.com.
I guarantee you, if your home just burned to the ground or you had a major accident, your first thing you're going to think about, it's not going to be, I just saved $500 on my auto and home insurance today. It's going to be, am I covered? At Vernon Insurance Agency, our first, second, and third goal is that you understand your coverage, there's no gaps in coverage, and your claims are covered when you have them. Call Vernon Insurance Agency today, 218-384-3970.
Yes. Don't stop clapping now. Come on.
Happy Honda Days is on now. Unwrap the joy of a new Accord, the best midsize sedan in America, according to Car and Driver.
That's all right.
Stop by your local Super One Liquor for all your party and gathering needs. With locations throughout the Northland and northern Wisconsin, Super One Liquor has a commitment to delivering outstanding service, variety, and top quality wines and spirits. And don't forget the massive variety of ice-cold beer and beverages, all at the low prices you've grown to expect. Visit superoneliquor.com anytime to view our weekly ads and in-store specials.
So stop by your local Super One Liquor store. Come for the service. Leave with the savings.
But let's get it hovered over there until it's just barely touching. Now, if it's getting close, you could also go to the even more refined scale. But I think you just want to be barely touching the wood. You can keep going. Yep, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. One more. Okay. Now, let's click confirm home position. And raise the bit. Now, we're going to turn the spindle on. I'll let one of you do this. So one of you can turn it on.
CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Boy, oh boy, did the Minnesota Vikings escape by the skin of their teeth yesterday afternoon. A second-half surge in what was sure a good talking to by head coach Mike Zimmer in the locker room at the half bumped the Vikings over the Broncos in the end. The Vikings trailed 20-0 and were met with boos from US Bank Stadium as they headed into the locker room after the first half. When they emerged, a whole different ball game. The Vikings rattled off 3 straight touchdowns, scoring 20 unanswered points in the fourth quarter.
Showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of guts, showed a lot of courage. You know, obviously we didn't play very well in the first half. We had penalties, fumbles, gave up big plays. Just did not play very well. And then but we came together and we fought pretty darn good in the second half, and we made just enough plays to win.
I think Vikings fans were all of that woman in the clip before. Vikings get a bye this week, and they're going to want the rest heading into their latter half of the schedule. As for the Green Bay Packers, they come off a bye week this week at a great time as well. They face the 9-1 San Francisco 49ers this Sunday on Sunday Night Football. We'll hear from the team tonight at CBS3 News at 10. Vikings were a second-half team this weekend. The UMD Bulldogs were certainly a second-half of the weekend team. After falling 3-1 on Friday night, the Bulldogs rallied to win 3-2 on Saturday evening over Miami, Ohio, on the team's first NCHC Road Series of the year. Thanks to the split, the Dogs fall from number 6 to number 9 in the latest national polls. Minnesota State Mankato stays in their top spot in the polls. Denver drops to number 2 after a tough series with North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks jump to number 5, and UMD sits at the 9th spot. The NCHC has 4 teams ranked overall, 3 teams in the top 10. Omaha also is up to 18. UMD hosts Colorado College this Friday and Saturday. A broadcasting note, only Saturday's game will be on My 9 Sports. For the third straight week, UMD getting some NCHC recognition. This time, it's Scott Brunovich. Again, the junior defenseman earns his second Defenseman of the Week honor this season after another stellar weekend performance. The Hibbing native continues to lead the UMD Bulldogs in scoring overall and on the weekend as well, racking up 4 points courtesy of assists, having a hand in each of UMD's 4 goals. He also led the Bulldogs in blocked shots in the defense zone with 7. It's Prunovich's 8th NCHC weekly honor of his career. The UMD women stayed put at number 10 in the latest polls after falling to number 7 Ohio State on Friday and then tying them after a shootout on Saturday. The UMD women welcome in that number 1 team, Minnesota, this Friday and Saturday at Amsoil Arena as Minnesota makes their way up 35. Puck drop at 3:07 p.m. Still can't get over that Vikings win.
I can't either. I was saying during the break, it's one of maybe 2 or 3 Vikings games that I've almost shut off at like halftime, but I decided to stick with it and didn't disappoint.
And did not disappoint. And how we avoided penalties in the final fourth quarter is incredible. Just, I mean, if we play like that second half team, there's no stopping them all season long.
I think that's what everyone's hoping.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly. All right, Dave. Come on in. Join us, friend.
Nice to meet you. Forecast time. 40% chance of a rain and snow mix comes courtesy of 2 low-pressure systems tomorrow. May make the roads a little bit slippery, so do travel cautiously. Then Wednesday, particularly later Wednesday into early Thursday morning, there's a 60% chance for accumulating snow. 1 to 3 inches is the latest chart I've seen. I'll show it to you tonight at 10, see if there's been any updates.
All right, thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.